Good evening, everybody. It's 9:30 on the East Coast, 6:30 on the West Coast. James, how are you doing this evening?
Not too bad. I'm out of town. I'm not in my usual cave, and now I'm hanging out with the folks for the holidays and working remotely. Even though I'm still working remotely because that's the nature
That
of
is the
life
nature
right
of the
now.
thing, right? Yeah, exactly. You're
so
just you're
so I'm remotely working.
you're remotely working, and I should say that you're like one time zone closer to us,
But
or to
yeah.
me rather, the royal
Mhm.
me. So, but yeah, so great. I ran out of steam on that one, and I'm just
It's
gonna
okay.
yeah.
It's okay. There's plenty of surf to enjoy there for a little bit. But we can just get right into whatever. How's your holiday week going? Are
So far,
you
it's gone
all
okay. I mean, since I'm freelance, my holiday week is pretty much just like every other week.
every yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I get
Um,
that.
I'm working actually on an article about Xena Warrior Princess, throwback to the '90s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of cool.
It has been languishing on the article board for weeks, and I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll do a Xena article. Why not?
So wait, there was a request out there to one of your clients that said, "Hey, I want to do a Xena article kind of thing," and
Well, the way
who
it
wants
works,
it?
yeah, the way it works is there's like a Trello board, and the editors like they go through their backlog of articles, written articles, and they do like SEO tests and focus group tests to see like which of these written articles would work as a video article,
Hmm.
and then they add it to the board. And then and any of the other scripters can go to the board, grab the source article, and then rewrite it and edit it so it works better as VO,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then that's that, and then you find all the video assets that you want to use for it, and
Oh,
that's what I
geez.
do. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
And so someone somewhere at the company decided that there's a taste for a Xena video out there, and so they grabbed that one.
Why not?
So why not? Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool though. Xena's cool.
Yeah, yeah, it was
I
a
always
fun
like the
show.
shows.
It's
Yeah,
it's interesting how unbelievably cheesy it is.
that's what I liked about it though.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
enjoyed that.
When I
The
when I was
effects.
yeah when I was younger, I thought it was much cooler
Oh,
than it is today. In
uh,
my experience of starting to work on this article.
yeah, yeah. I when what is it, Hercules when that was around and
Yeah,
Xena were
yeah,
around the same time, whatever. Yeah, I loved seeing the cheesy effects. That was part of the fun for me and the campiness of the shows.
oh
They
yeah,
didn't take
without a
it,
doubt.
didn't like they were a fun B movie to watch every week kind of thing
Hmm.
kind of going on where they didn't take themselves too seriously. They knew it was kind of campy, it felt like, but yet it was still they walked that really good fine line. The whole crew did for both
Yeah,
shows.
yeah.
It's great.
So and then gonna do one last trivia for the 2021 with a couple of buddies tomorrow, and then hanging out at my girlfriend's place on the 23rd before she and I go to visit our own separate families
Mm-hmm.
on Christmas Eve. So yeah, it's gonna be a busy week.
Cool.
How about you? Are you gonna stay with family through Christmas, or you heading back to LA, or
Yeah, I'll be staying with family through Christmas and then kind of roll the dice and decide when to go back. Whether I'll probably be heading back because there's family in LA that I want to see too.
yeah, sure,
So I'm gonna try to see if I can get back before the new year starts, that type of thing. So
makes sense to
yeah,
me.
yeah. So just typical holiday kind of moving around type of stuff that one is to expect, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
So tonight I am, as we kind of roll into whatever, I am going to revisit one of our characters.
Okay,
Let's see here. I'll share my screen. There it is. We're going to go back to Sally for tonight a little bit. Do
okay.
you see my screen, right?
I do. I see Sally
Great.
standing there.
Okay. So I'm going to just work on some basic assets for her mouth pack and stuff tonight.
Okay.
And kind of just go with the flow. Like in other episodes, I can't remember if I've ever done a mouth pack for Calamity Jane on live stream or not. I can't remember.
Yes, we have. We have worked on a
Okay.
mouth pack for her and for Mayor.
Okay.
Those are my two
Okay.
memories.
Man, that's crazy how much. Yeah. Sometimes it kind of gets blurred, like what I do offline and then talk with you about it, and then what we
Sure.
do online, quote unquote. Yeah.
Well, hey,
But anyways, yeah.
don't wait for just to be online. Do what you got to do.
Yeah, absolutely. But I figured this would be a good one to do for online. Yeah. it's kind of funny. I'm looking through this file, and I remember like we were discussing like hairstyles, and I remember I had the long hair thing kind of going on for here a
Mm-hmm.
little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an old, that's an old relic, but
Yeah, I remember being of two minds about it, and ultimately
mhm.
going with the pigtails because they looked just slightly cuter. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we're going with that. Today's the 21st or 20th, right?
I think
Yeah,
it's the 20th.
yeah. So
Tomorrow is
cool.
officially winter, or give or take a day.
What? It's already, well, I don't know how it is, how cold is over for you, but in Utah, um, since I've been here, it's been 20s and below a little bit.
Hoo, no, sir, Bob.
Does it ever get that cold in Georgia?
Yeah, sure it does, but it won't until like January or February.
Okay.
November and December are weird months here. The temperature vacillates between 40 degrees and 70 degrees. Um,
Wow. Yeah, I remember you saying last week, like you were saying how it's sort of extreme, like well, not extreme, but to a point where you need to either wear a jacket or you don't, and you can't decide,
yeah, and you're
right?
not going to know until you walk outside. Yeah.
Ugh,
Because like right now it's
yeah.
in the 40s. It didn't get about 45 today,
Mhm.
and Christmas Day it's supposed to be in the mid 70s.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it is just I think it has a lot to do I think with where Atlanta is,
Uh-huh.
in terms of its proximity to the Atlantic Ocean and the tropical Gulf of Mexico, and then the Caribbean to the southeast,
Mhm.
and it's just it as a result, like you've got all these weather systems coming off those large body of waters, and they sort of mix together, and you got the cold air coming in from the west, uh, the Great Plains, and it all just kind of mashes together.
Mhm.
And by the way, I've been going to night school to become a weatherman, so this is just a good
It
opportunity to
shows. It shows.
practice. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely shows. I mean, you're fooling me. I mean, I'm waiting to see
It's,
like the jet stream come across, like
that's
when you take
right.
over the screen here, and
That's right.
you feel free to do that.
Yeah,
But
no, we're
yeah,
gonna see a push of warm air moving east across the Great Plains.
but yeah, yeah. You even got your weather. Yeah, you got the cadence down for a weatherman too.
That's
Like
right.
kind of the bass is good. So far, so good, man.
Okay,
Yeah,
good, good, good. Yeah,
you got a backup job.
yeah, my professor tells me I excel at the weatherman voice. Like that's really one of my strong suits. I'm still working
Yeah.
on the posture and the body language, but yeah, the voice is good. But in any case, um, yeah. So I went and saw Guillermo del Toro's new film last night.
Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
apologize. I did
Uh-huh.
not to go see
Oh, whatever. Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters
Yeah.
Afterlife because
Yeah.
Nightmare Alley is a movie I actually wanted to
Yeah,
watch.
I know. You were looking forward to this a couple like for a couple of months. It feels like
Oh
when they
yeah,
announced it or
yeah.
whatever. So, what's your thoughts, though? That's the question.
I liked it. Is it my favorite of his films? No, that still probably goes to The Devil's Backbone or Shape of Water.
Okay.
But it is much better than Crimson Peak and Hellboy: The Golden Army and Pacific Rim. So
Okay.
I would say it is in the upper tier of his films. My biggest complaint, more than anything else, is just it was too long and it spent too much time on the wrong parts of the story, in my
Hmm.
opinion.
Hmm.
It revolves around a a seedy kind of character played very well by Bradley Cooper. Bradley
Okay.
Cooper's kind of he's got this everyman kind of nice guy you'd be
Yeah.
willing to ask directions from on the street kind of
Yeah.
character.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not threatening.
Yeah, but that really plays well for his character in the show, in the movie.
Okay.
So it was
All
really
right.
good casting. But in any case, the movie starts with him at a carnival, and that's where the inciting incident occurs. But the movie dwells way too long, and I think it's just because Guillermo del Toro was sort of in love with the characters he created there,
Mm-hmm.
and the environments and the sets, and he just kind of wanted to play in that space for a while,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which unfortunately took time away from what I felt was the real heart of the story, which is this guy using cold reading and hot reading to con wealthy people, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and Kate Blanchett plays this kind of seedy psychologist,
Hmm.
and they have some really really great moments together, Bradley Cooper and Kate Blanchett, and it was really disappointing that we didn't get to spend more time with those characters.
Okay. So, okay. You found yourself as a viewer, you wanted to see more about these other ancillary characters besides Bradley Cooper's character.
Yeah, I mean they had great. Well, no. They had great chemistry together, right?
Okay.
Like I wanted Kate Blanchett to be in it more. I wanted her to be more of a lead and spend more time interacting with Bradley Cooper because they had such strong chemistry,
I
right?
see. Oh, okay. All
And
right.
then my final complaint is that like it was this slow burn for the whole movie,
Hmm.
and then the climax and ending all happened within like 15 minutes,
Oh,
and it's a two
jeez.
and a half hour long movie. And
Okay.
so it really like it lived in this space for a long time, and then when it finally decided it wanted to bring the story to a resolution, it just crashed into the ending, right?
Huh.
Now, I mean, that being said, it was still great. I mean, Guillermo del Toro is a phenomenal director who's got a wonderful eye, a really strong sense of the lens. He gets
Hmm.
really great performance out of actors.
Hmm.
Um, it was just a little bit too. It focused on the wrong aspects for me. What I was looking for in the movie, it focused on the wrong aspects.
Now you're saying this pretty much falls within the like his top three, but not his best, right? Is that
Top
what you're
top
saying?
five, I would say.
Top five. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like I love the Devil's Backbone and The Shape of Water, and the first Hellboy movie. I did not care for the Golden Army that much.
Yeah, it's funny. Nobody, Golden Army gets a bad rap. I know, and I'm not a Hellboy fan like you. But I enjoyed Hellboy 1 and 2 equal the same. I mean, Hellboy 1 obviously because it helps out the origin, but I already knew the origin from reading the comic books. But um, yeah, I thought they were both really, really well done. But it's funny how Golden Army always gets kind of thrown into the cellar a little bit with a lot of
Yeah,
people. You're not the
yeah.
only one that says that about it.
No, I know, I know. I mean, and this is coming from someone who loved the first movie.
Hmm.
I mean, I love this first movie so much that I became a Hellboy fan because of it.
Oh, I thought you were a Hellboy fan before the movie.
No,
Wow.
no. I saw Hellboy the movie and was like,
Huh.
wow, I want to know more about this character. And
Wow.
then got into the comic book because of the movie. That's how much
That's
I like the
crazy.
movie.
That's really funny.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that little tidbit.
yeah,
This whole time, I thought you were a walking encyclopedia of Hellboy, and you only just digested all of it pretty recently for how long Hellboy's been around.
yeah. 2004. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like so. I mean, 16
Huh.
years is nothing to to
Yeah.
joke about, but I mean,
Yeah. No,
still,
but I'm just thinking about in the content when we saw like when that movie came out. I mean, you and I did see it together, obviously,
yeah.
but yeah, but I remember when I met you, I always assumed you were a Hellboy fan.
Oh yeah.
So
By
the whole
that point,
time,
I was.
and
Yeah.
that was
By
like,
that point, I was. Yeah.
yeah, you were already, yeah, you were completely, you were on board.
Yeah.
You
And
were,
that
you would have been considered one of the Golden Army
I.
back then, but you don't like the, yeah, but that's a whole
Yeah.
other thing.
Uh,
Now so what did you like about Golden Army though for his movie? You just didn't think it didn't stick with the source material correctly or something or what?
no, I've never been a stickler for sticking to the source material because when you do that, you
Uh-huh.
get things like Watchmen, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Which was a complete failure because it was so slavishly obsessed with the source material.
yeah. Uh-huh.
I much prefer when um, creators work together, and as Mike Mignola and Guillermo del Toro did. Now I heard they had a falling out, but
Oh, okay.
at least when they were still collaborating on Hellboy, Mignola and Guillermo del Toro worked together to create Guillermo del Toro's vision of um, Hellboy. And I know
Okay.
this because I went to this hole in the wall signing back when I lived in LA,
Uh-huh.
where Scott Alley, before he turned out to be a real piece of work,
Wait, who's Scott Alley?
he was the editor in chief of Dark Horse Comics.
Oh, okay, okay. All right.
Scott Alley and Mike Mignola and Doug Jones and who played Abe Sapien,
Mm-hmm.
and the composer of the first film. They were doing a signing at this like hole in the wall Gothic bookstore 10
Mm-hmm.
minutes from where my apartment was. Just a
Okay.
weird confluence of events.
Mm-hmm.
And I got there super early, and I was first in line, and I heard Mignola talking to Scott Alley about the Golden Army, which at
Okay.
this point hadn't been officially announced.
Okay.
Um, and he, he was talking about how he and Guillermo del Toro worked together to create del Toro's vision of Hellboy, and
Uh-huh.
how he appreciated the fact that he put his own spin on it rather than trying to limit
And
himself to the world of the comics.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
And then somewhere along the way, Fallout happened, and
yeah,
now they don't talk. But you don't know what the story was with that, huh?
that I have no insight into. Yeah,
Huh. I mean, it could have been just like, maybe you should stick to my story.
yeah,
You
it
know,
could
so
have just been
who
that. Like
knows?
Mignola decided, like, no, because the when I heard that Golden Army was going to be about sort of fairy tales, I'm like, oh, that's amazing because Hellboy, Mignola's Hellboy is steeped in fairy tales and myth, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One of Hellboy's biggest antagonists in the comics is the Baba Yaga, who
Mm-hmm.
is a witch from Russian
Yeah.
folk tales and mythology,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the Arthurian legends and all of that jazz um, are just it's just Hellboy is steeped in all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
I was looking forward to it, and then Del Toro went in this direction with fairies and like they were identical twins and connected through I don't know some kind of quantum entanglement. I have no idea. And it just it didn't I don't know it didn't carry water for me. It just
Mm.
didn't excite me um, in the ways that Mignola's interpretation of fairy tales excited me.
Okay. All right. So Guillermo's uh, thumbprints were a little bit more heavy-handed in Golden Army. It felt like, huh?
Yeah, and it just didn't work for me as much, quite frankly. But um,
It's
all
funny.
yeah.
Oh no, go ahead. Don't go ahead.
Oh no, like all things considered, I'd still watch the Golden Army
Mhm.
again before Crimson Peak or Pacific Rim. Now I know some people who just they go crazy over Pacific Rim, and that's great. I just don't really care about kaiju and giant robots as much as a
Mhm.
lot of people do.
Sure. It's funny for me. Guillermo del Toro's first, best work. The ones I enjoyed the most was Pan's Labyrinth because I
Mm-hmm.
guess that was the first time I was exposed to anything he did. But I loved that movie. And then, yeah, Pacific Rim I enjoyed a lot. And Hellboy 1 and 2. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
all those were, some of those kind of more mainstreamy. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed those. But Shape of Water, I got bored.
Oh really?
Um, yeah, I wanted to like it, but I don't know what
Mm.
it was. There was something about it that it was nice. It was a nice movie, but I couldn't get into it.
Hmm.
Didn't he do some of the kind of creepy movie like Mother or something like that, or something with
He
the?
yeah he's executive produced a bunch of horror movies.
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
And well, not executive produced. I mean, he actually produced them, so he wasn't just like a money man.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, he didn't direct Mother, although like by all accounts, I've heard it's really good. I actually have never seen it.
Yeah, it's good. That's a great one too. But yeah, I can't really chalk him up as a director because again, like what you said, he was a producer on it.
Wait, was
But
Mother the Darren Aronofsky horror flick with Jennifer Lawrence? Was or because
I
like
think
because wasn't it Mama? You're talking about the one where it's just
maybe
like
I'm.
the cannibal feral woman who comes back into the house and haunts them, and she's like a monster.
It's been so long. The central character is a child, of
Yeah.
course.
Okay. So that's yeah. I think that's Mama.
Mama. Okay.
Yeah, and I think Aronofsky did Mother with Jennifer
Okay.
Lawrence. I don't remember for sure though.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
So
Um,
yeah.
but yeah. So and he executive produced Scary Tales to Tell in the Dark.
Okay.
And I was like originally he was going to direct it, and he even wrote a script for it. And I don't know what happened, but I guess the studio went in a different direction, and
Mm-hmm.
so he bowed out and like and they sort of used some of his story sketches and some of his ideas, but went in a very different direction with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I heard that it was somewhat middling. The finished product was a little bit middling as a result.
Hmm.
Yeah, similar to the expression on Sally's face right now.
Yeah, it's funny. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. Hmm.
um, yeah. Speaking of Sally, yeah, we're kind of just going through, and I'm building out the basic things I want to use for when we get dialogue for her, which phone mouth positions I need.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of going through, breaking through here, just laying down some drawings. Some
Drawings. I love it when people
drawings.
add extra consonants to words.
Isn't that? I can't remember if it's a Saturday Night Live skit type of thing, the drawings kind of thing, or
I don't
what? But
remember.
it's some sort
Yeah.
of pop culture reference that is so obscure I can't remember where it belongs anymore. So, um, there was another movie I was going to talk to you about, and I know we talked about it offline a little bit, but I mean, since we're talking about movies so much, and that was Edgar Wright's latest movie.
Yes. Yes.
So I think
Last
you and I
night in
both,
Soho.
yeah, we both kind of walked away from that kind of disappointed, sadly. I wanted to really like it, but
I mean, my
you're,
biggest problem with it was just so conventional.
hmm,
I mean, I don't. I know there were a few moments where he did interesting things with the mirrors and the duality of the two
yeah,
characters,
hmm.
but ultimately the story was just not that good, quite frankly.
Yeah. You were just talking about how last 15 minutes of the Del Toro movie that that we started off our stream with was kind of like all encapsulated within 15 minutes. Well, I felt like this one was kind of done the same way, but it's just done poorly and it just
Mm-hmm.
fell apart in the last 15 minutes of the movie. I almost wish I didn't see the last half hour of the movie, and I think I would have liked it a lot. The way it built up and everything. The shots were great. Technically, I enjoyed the reflection um, TLC that he was using on some of the shots and the composition. Um, really fun movie in a lot of spots, but yeah, not his best, sadly.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was a real shame, and I was really excited about it too. Like Guillermo del Toro, I'm a huge Edgar Wright fan. I mean, all the way back to when he was working with Nick Frost and Simon Pegg on Spaced for the BBC.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Um, and so yeah, I was pretty disappointed. But it's an interesting trend about formerly comedic writer directors dipping their toes into horror, right? I mean the most prevalent and successful obviously is Jordan Peele, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who has I think said that he's never going to do another comedy. Like all he's going to
Oh
do moving
no,
forward is
really?
is thrillers and
Oh.
horrors. Like that's what he wants his career to be now.
Oh. Okay.
Um, and and then Edgar Wright with Last Night in Soho. Now,
That was
admittedly,
his.
that was his foray into horror
Huh.
slash thrillers.
And so you think? I mean, was he pretty much saying, "Yeah, I want to do less comedies and more horror," kind of a thing? Is that what his
I think it
goal
was just
was?
for Edgar Wright. I think it was just an experiment.
Okay. All right.
Um, because he did Baby Driver was funny, but it wasn't a comedy. It was a car chase
Mm-hmm.
movie, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was great. I mean, I love Baby Driver.
Great movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Uh,
but yeah, so Edgar Wright, I think it's just he likes to experiment with different genres and try to put his own spin on it. I just felt like Last Night in Soho was a miss.
yeah. Yeah. I'm with you on that one too. Yeah, but looking forward to seeing what he makes next. I mean, I'm definitely gonna go see whatever he makes. I'm still a fan.
Oh
He has too
yeah,
many good movies. He has too many good movies to not want to go see his stuff. So
absolutely. I mean, like he
yeah,
would he for me at least he would have to do a lot to burn the goodwill he's built up with me over the years.
yeah, same here. Still a fan. No worries. He'll get
Hmm.
my $10 at the movie theater. No
Yeah, for
problem.
sure. It was
Um,
when I went to go see the movie yesterday. I mean, the biggest problem was I don't know why the studio decided to do this, but they decided to open the same weekend as the new Spider-Man movie. Like,
hmm.
who does that? Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so
Um, yeah, the new Spider-Man movie I'm looking forward to seeing. Eventually, I'll see it, but I don't know exactly when. Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
yeah, I mean, it's people seem to really love it. Um,
Yeah.
I'm, I'm still in my boycott of corporate superhero movies.
So you're not
Um,
gonna see it, huh?
no, I mean, I didn't see the second one either. So
Okay.
and I'm also not a huge Spider-Man fan,
Mhm.
to be totally honest. I like the character's powers. I think that's
Yeah.
cool, but I
Yeah.
find Peter Parker boring. I think that's one
Really?
of the reasons why I liked Into the Spider Verse is because I find Miles Morales to be a far more interesting character than Peter Parker.
Hmm.
And I also liked what they did with Peter Parker in Into the Spider Verse, and I thought Jake Johnson did a phenomenal job of voicing the character.
Uh-huh. Oh, you mean 5 o'clock Shadow Peter Parker?
Yeah, Five
In
O'clock
in
Shadow Peter Parker. Yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah,
how I
yeah,
call it.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 No pants, Peter.
Yeah. You don't find I mean Miles to me Miles and young Peter in high school. I mean it was the same thing to me. I don't think there's any
Oh no, no,
to me I
no.
didn't
It's
see.
yeah, no. I just think Miles is a more interesting, cooler character than Peter
Oh,
Parker. That's
oh,
all.
I
It's
see.
not
I
that
see.
he has like a completely different story or frame of reference. I just think the
Oh,
character's cooler. I guess.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like them both. I think they're both I think they encapsulate the idea of Spider-Man. I do think that Peter Parker has become more has become more it has become uninteresting. Once he left high school, it became really boring. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the struggle wasn't the same anymore. It felt like they were kind of just boring. He had boring problems like trying to make sure his freelance job was working okay with J. Jonah Jameson. Dating Mary Jane, and it just kind of got old after a while, right?
Yeah, and I also never found. I never really understood what he saw in Mary Jane and what she saw in him. Like there was never any chemistry between those two characters
In comic book form or in the movie form, any form.
in any form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was I just figured it was because she was a supermodel and she was the classic out of his league kind of a thing. But meanwhile, he really was out of her league kind of a
Right.
thing.
Right.
That's kind of that was me kind of reaching for something there. I think a little bit, but
I think that's a
yeah,
legitimate though. I think that's totally legitimate.
but yeah, as far as them interacting with each other, it was kind of again very kind of flat for
Mm-hmm.
the most part. There was nothing really special about it. It felt like, well, maybe it's because his first girlfriend was Gwen Stacy and he lost her, but it was the same thing. It's kind of like um, it was kind of like a straight, kind of whatever standard dating relationship type of thing. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe it's just Peter Parker. Maybe it's just
I don't
maybe it's
know.
just dating
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
I appreciated a little bit what Insomniac tried to do with Mary Jane in the Spider-Man game, where they turned her into an investigative reporter.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was
But
fun.
it just felt like, why? Like I mean, I didn't have a problem, I guess, but I hated those gameplay sections.
Yeah, they
Like,
weren't fun.
I just want to be Spider-Man. Can I go be Spider-Man again? Like, if you
Yeah.
want to have a female character, great. Why don't you go get, Spider Gwen and let me be Spider Gwen for a while? I'd be fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was the forced stealth mechanic nonsense that every
Yeah.
game is obsessed with putting in, and
Mm-hmm.
um, so um, and then also, why did it have to be Mary Jane? Like, why couldn't you have done Gwen Stacy, or frankly anybody for that matter? You could have created
Yeah.
your own character.
Yeah.
You're not bound by the mythos, as far as I'm aware. Although maybe they were. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they took a lot of fun. I like the turns and the twists they did with the Spider-Man game for PlayStation. It was fun.
I
Um,
enjoyed it.
all the way through. Yeah.
Uh, I
DLC kind of got kind of monotonous, but
I didn't play it. That was the one with Black Cat, right?
yeah, yeah. I honestly I didn't play it all the way through, so maybe I should give it more of a chance. Maybe I'll fire it up again. But it felt like it's just kind of samey, and it wasn't very exciting samey.
Did you download the Miles Morales expansion, or is that
No,
only on PS5?
no, it's on both, and
Okay.
I want to. I just haven't got around to doing that yet. Are you thinking about doing it?
Honestly, until we started talking about it, I had completely forgotten about it. I probably won't. I don't even know if my PlayStation 4 is connected to the internet since I moved into this apartment over a year ago. I don't know that I've turned it on in over a
Wow.
year.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be. I mean, people have been saying. I mean, just reading reviews on the internet. I mean, people really like it. But
Yeah, no, totally. It's not a commentary on the game itself. It's more
mhm.
commentary on. I don't really want to take the time to spend 2 hours deleting enough stuff off of my hard drive,
Yeah.
and then downloading the 12 different PS4 system updates that I'm sure have come, and
Yeah, that's
then
a slog. Yeah.
downloading the DLC. I mean, it's just to even get the game launched at this point, it would take me like a day, and I just don't really want to play it that much.
Yeah, yeah. Plus, you got your Switch. There's plenty of games to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
There's
never
plenty of
short.
games
I mean, I've been having a hankering to go play through Link's Awakening again for some reason.
hmm.
The Game Boy remake on the
On the Switch,
Switch.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll have to. I mean, eventually, I have to pick it up. I had it on the Game Boy, and I stopped playing it for some reason. It was fun though. It was a fun game, but
Yeah, I have it.
maybe.
It's hard to see, but right there, there
Oh.
is the little Legend of Zelda Game and Watch thing that they released,
Oh.
and
Okay.
it has Zelda 1, 2, and Link's Awakening on it.
Oh,
It's
nice.
pretty cool actually.
Very nice.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
we're
cool.
at over 30 minutes now,
Yes, we are.
so
So
let's take a look at where you're at with Sally, and then we'll let our fine fans move on with their lives.
yes, they've been here. They've dealt with us long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I've laid out a lot of the basic pieces for her to talk, at least front view wise. I'm still kind of mulling some things over.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, like we do have this hard line for her straight, for her mouth when it's closed,
Mm-hmm.
and I keep it through. If you look in the design here, for her upper lip all the way through. But I'm not sure if I like it all the way around or not. These other poses, like I
Mm-hmm.
might do this instead. Yeah, I mean, I already might feel a little better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just things like that. But I mean, I'm gonna let this soak, and I'll come back to it, and then I'll really think about it. But for tonight, I mean, yeah, it's in a good spot. I mean, but
Yeah.
I'll keep tweaking it, and we'll go from there. But
Cool.
yeah,
Very cool. Looks
she'll
good.
be able to whenever we get our voice actress to do the role. She'll be ready to speak.
Oh, we've already got I've already had all of Sally's lines recorded.
Oh, we do, oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that uh the last week before everything came to a
When
crashing halt
Oh my
in the
gosh.
pandemic. Yeah.
Man, we should try to give that a run real quick and see how it looks.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to dig them up. There's somewhere in our share.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. The next Monday will be post Christmas, but I will be here. So, as far as I'm concerned, we will see you next Monday, everybody.
I
Eh,
plan on it myself too, so I think, yeah, I'll plan on being here too.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, head on over to Patreon. CalamityJane.rocks will take you there. Consider becoming a subscriber and helping us make this cartoon a reality. Otherwise, you can find us on YouTube, which presumably you're watching this right now, or Facebook, which presumably you could have linked to this video from Facebook and all of the things. Stay safe out there, for real, everybody, and we'll talk to you next week. Good night.
Bye, everybody.
All right.